Creamer Media's Mining Weekly is interviewing Vuslat Bayoglu, the managing director of Menar, a private investment company with an actively managed and growing portfolio of mining assets. Currently in the Menar portfolio are anthracite, coal, gold, manganese, and nickel. Hi, Vuslat. It's great to chat to you again.
Hi, Martin. Thank you.
Mining Week would like to kick off with this question. In your view, Vuslat, what were the biggest developments in the coal sector this year?
Yeah, there are a couple of things. First one is the Transnet's capacity constraints, which affected the industry very badly, very adversely, and it still remains a concern. Transnet couldn't solve the problem, and if we just go through what their problems are, the biggest problem is the locomotives availability, and that problem is not solved yet. And they don't have enough locomotives, and they also don't have spare parts for the locomotives that are being idled, especially the ones coming from China. And the second biggest issue that they have is the availability of skills. There's a massive skills shortage in Transnet because of the voluntary packages, voluntary retrenchment packages people were offered. It still stays there. Some of the people left, and with that, Transnet lost institutional memory. Cable theft is still a problem, and all these things affect their efficiencies, and that becomes a massive obstacle for coal mining companies to move their products to different ports of South Africa, especially Richards Bay Coal Terminal. And the second problem is second big thing is the volatile prices. Obviously, with the Ukraine-Russia war, prices went very high, and then it came down after a while because Europe had their stocks, and then the panic faded away, and then prices came down. But then it didn't really come down to a level where it was pre-COVID. But still, I mean, a price of like $300 versus $100 is a massive difference for the mining industry, coal mining industry. And the other one is regulatory concerns. Some of the mining companies, including us, had issues with getting licenses, especially with water use licenses. But we were told that government is dealing with that issue. Another one is companies started 2023 with a very healthy financials, but then because of the constraints in Transnet, they couldn't move their products to the port, and companies like Glencore ended up cutting jobs and closing some of their operations because they were not able to move their products to the port. These are the main things that are important, I think, in 2023 happened.
And Vuslat, can you talk us through some of the highlights for Menar and its subsidiaries in 2023?
Look, it was a good year for us. It's a good year for us, let's say. We are working on developing Gulu, and we started mining. We removed the topsoil, softs and hards. We blasted the hards. We are going to expose coal hopefully this month, end of this month. And we are busy commissioning our processing plant to make sure that we produce clean coal. And in the meantime, we're busy with the development of the slurry dams, pollution control dams, roads. So it's a very big and busy project site in Dafel, Mpumalanga. So that's the first highlight for us. And hopefully we will get to production, processing the first coal end of January next year. So first coal will be on the ground in February 2024. We will mine about 200,000 tons a month and get about 120,000 tons of saleable coal. The second one is we would like to start to develop TUSO, which is an underground operation in Bezel. And we, at South Africa Investment Conference in Sandton, we pledged that we will build Gugulethu and TUSO, and we pledged 1.4 billion rand. And we are finishing Gugulethu, and hopefully we're going to start TUSO, and we are hoping to bring TUSO into production next year in 2024. On the ZEC, Zululand anthracite side, we revived Maya B decline. It's producing now. We re-equipped the whole decline with two sections, and then we are busy with Mgeni. Again, will hopefully be operational this year. Still this year, we were targeting to finish end of October, but because of the rain, it's delayed a little bit, and we also had some equipment issues. But that's going to be a new decline for ZAC. On Kangra side, we started Udumo and Bagaten, which is the project called Kusipongo. It's working very well, and we produced in August 130,000 tons from 3 sections in Kangra. So these are the main highlights for Menar in 2023.
And you previously mentioned that Bezel project could start soon once its water use license is approved. What is the latest on that?
So Bezel is going to be our flagship project. That's in Springs. It will employ 800 people. It will create massive opportunities for the community in terms of procurement, in terms of bursaries, learnerships, internships, local economic development projects. We are very excited to develop Bekezela. It's waiting for water use license to be granted, but I think it's in the final stages. We think that we're going to get the water use license before the end of this year. That will then make us start developing the mine next year. And we agreed with the surface right holder. That means that we don't have any obstacles after we get the water use license granted. There is a potential customer for the product. We are planning to mine 600,000 ton a month and washing the product at about 70-75% yield to sell the customer, again, clean coal. Actually, it's an exciting opportunity for us because we never developed a mega mine. It's going to be our first project. We employed a very experienced project manager for this, not to make a mistake, which has got a great experience in developing mines, who worked for South 32 and Vale in the past. So Bekezela is an exciting project for us, and I'm hoping that we will develop it next year. It's going to be a great success story.
And can you give us some more color on the latest developments at Gugulethu in Mpumalanga?
Gugulethu, we are almost on time regarding mining. We are going to be mining with our own equipment. We are mining with our own equipment. And we are on track regarding the mining side. On the processing side, we are a bit delayed because of heavy rains and snow. And again, it started raining. That stopped us recently for 2-3 days because we couldn't do the construction on site regarding the plant. But we have a 400 ton in our plant with a 28 ton per hour filter press on site. So we will have a closed circuit regarding water. We'll try to save water as much as possible. We have a very good relationship with the neighbors, the farmers. We built a relationship with them, also with the community. We got our community forum there. We have a very strong management, and we already started implementing our social and labor plan, and hopefully we will mine 200,000 ton a month by January, and then we'll have the first washed coal on the ground by February 2024.
And industry leaders have been in constant talks with Transnet to try and resolve rail constraints. What is your impression of these discussions? Have they been helpful?
I think it's helpful. I think South Africa has the skills, actually, to fix a Transnet issue. But I don't know where the challenge is, but I mean, we all know what the problems are. And the industry can come with even capital to help Transnet to solve this problem. But the biggest challenge of Transnet is they are not able to make a decision. They can't make even a small decision. Everything waits and waits and waits. And you know, by Portia, Darby, and Sizakele Mzimela resigning, I don't know what's going to happen, because I think there's a total chaos at the moment. So I'm not sure if it's going to help Transnet, if it's going to help industry to fix Transnet by having no leaders. There's a chairman, yes, and they're acting CEOs, but we can't get any results when we try to do anything with them. And the locomotives issue is still there. Security issue is still there. I'm just like personally worried that there's no CEO at Eskom for the last 9 months. And if something like that happens for Transnet as well, it's going to be really bad, because with Transnet performing, we bring dollars to the country. If Transnet doesn't perform, if it carries on performing like they did last year, it's going to be very bad for the fiscus. I mean, I was at this event, Kgalema Atlanta Foundation's event in Drakensberg, and the Minister of Finance was saying the same thing. He's He's very well informed about the Transnet challenge, and he knows that we can't get revenue out of exports, coal, be it iron ore, be it manganese, be it chrome, because Transnet is failing. So ordinary people on the street doesn't feel it immediately, but then when you don't have enough foreign currency coming to the country, then they will all start feeling the impact of Transnet not performing. And it's not about pointing any fingers to anybody, but the reality is we have to make Transnet work. Otherwise, the whole mining industry, which is the backbone industry of this country, will be failed.
And can you talk us through Menars' ESG-aligned initiatives?
Obviously, every operation that we have create job opportunities. So we would like to create more job opportunities by bringing more mines into production. And every mine provides, through their social and labor plans, bursaries, local economic development projects. So it's important to make an impact for the community that we are operating around. And what we did actually recently in Bronkhorstspruit, we met with the people in Swane Region 7. We met almost 1,500 people to talk to them about our social and labor plan for the next 5 years, because the previous one is expired, and we consulted with them. We tried to understand what their expectations are. How can we help them? Do they need a clinic? Do they need a school? Do they need a bridge? So we try to consult, we try to understand, and then we go and consult with DMRE and municipality to finalize our SLP for next year. Every mine has got its own projects. Like in Zululand Anthracite, we got projects with different communities living around the mine. So it is critical for us, and we religiously follow up the implementation of our social and labor plans in every mine.
You recently hosted the 5th Mining Journalism Training Program. How did it unfold this time around?
It was great. I think we graduated almost 100 students with this year's event. We've been doing this for the last 5 years, and it was a great success. There was great speakers, including the former DG of DMRE, Sandile Nokina, the CEO of Chamber of Mines, or Minerals Council South Africa, rather, and there was Professor Nikki Wagner. And I think it's important for us to show that we support media, free media, and we are happy to sort of like engage with them to show them and to explain them, or maybe to educate them about the mining jargon, how mining works. We also took them to one of our operations, showed them like how a coal mine works. So I think it was a great success.
That was Creamer Media's Mining Weekly, interviewing Vuslat Bayoglu, the managing director of Menar, a private investment company with an actively managed and growing portfolio of mining assets.